Hey everybody, today I want to talk about body mechanics. Two of the big reasons why we want to talk about this is one, to avoid injury, and two, to just play to your best potential. So what I like to do is just start with my body at rest. So if I just think about standing straight up, good posture, look at where your arms are. What I'm doing is just using my natural range of motion. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but I'm working with my natural range of motion. So all I'm doing for my left hand is to kind of face my palm forward and bend at the elbow until it comes up and touches the neck. That's the position that I want. Nice natural range of motion. For my right hand, very much the same thing, bending at the elbow. I have to curve in a little bit to get into the body, but I'm just coming up until my fingers make contact with the strings. Now, what I'm doing is a little bit different than what you see a lot of bass players do, where their wrist is bent, kind of on an angle like this. Now, when I bend my wrist, I can start to feel tension through the top of my hand, and that tension, that's resistance. So I have to work against that if I'm going to angle my hand. Again, this is for me. You might be flexible and that doesn't cause any tension in your hand. Great. For me, I like to have my wrist straight. So I played a little bit of a different angle than what most folks do. And it can be a little cumbersome because I play with two fingers, my first and second. My second finger is a bit longer, so I have to bend that. This is just something that I've done over the years and gotten used to. So just a little bit of a bend, but it works for me. You have to find what works for you. But again, if you look at my shoulders, my elbows, my wrists, everything's as straight as it possibly can be, but working within my natural range of motion. Also within this comes into play is how high the bass is on my body, where I have the strap adjustment. I play a little bit higher, feels comfortable for me. So this is the same if I'm standing up or if I'm sitting down. So I'm going to sit down and you can see that the bass doesn't move. It's still in the same place. It's not even resting on my leg. Now what happens sometimes is folks will have the bass real low when they're standing up, but when they practice sitting down most of the time. And so the bass is in an actual different position when they're practicing than when they go out and perform live or they practice with their band. This causes a little bit of tension on their hands. They might say, like, when I play out live, it's a little bit harder than when I practice. So these are things you want to be aware of. If you can get the bass in a consistent spot, you know where everything is. You start getting used to it. You kind of play by feel. So if you play with your bass lower than where it would be when you sit down, then just stand up and practice. And that's perfectly fine. Otherwise, you're going to be practicing all this great bass stuff at home with your bass kind of riding a little bit higher, and then you go out and play a gig and you're down here and everything's going to feel alien to you. You don't want that to happen. So consistency is a key there. So just remember natural range of motion, bend at the elbow, wrist turns slightly out. You can see I'm not really doing anything special as I bring my hand up, my left hand up. It's just grabbing the neck and then whatever string I want to go to. A little bit of pivoting in the back. We can talk about some more details of that later, but just think of that natural range of motion. If you have any kind of pain, if you feel any kind of tension, experiment. Try some different things. Find out what works for you. It's not going to look exactly like what I look like when I play or what maybe your favorite bass players are doing. You have to find what works for you. That's always the key. You want to have your own voice, so of course you're going to have your own style as far as the body mechanics go. But experiment. Let me know what you guys think about this. If you have any special things that you found work for you, or if you're having any difficulties, let's talk about them. Let's see if we can solve those difficulties for you. All right? Thanks a lot for watching.